And so to the young artists, yeah, create and share. And then as soon as you're ready to like start exploring what it's like to sell your artwork, go for it.
Can you tell us about yourself?
So I like to introduce myself as a husband, father, artist, and educator. I've been teaching now for 16 years. I teach on Long Island, and I live in New York. I've had the privilege of teaching everything kindergarten through 12th grade. I'm currently teaching kindergarten through 7th grade. When I was in school, even when I was a kid, I wanted to be a teacher or a veterinarian. And I went the route of teacher because I had some special teachers in my life. And I felt like it was my responsibility to pay it forward. And I chose art because it was the thing that I was good at. So I never wanted to be an artist per se. I always wanted to be a teacher. And then after I became a teacher is when I started exploring what it would be like to be part of the art industry as a professional artist.
How have your life experiences shaped your art?
So I'm a geek. I've been into comic books my entire life. And I think that's where I actually gained an interest for art. I was really blown away by the idea that these still pictures can have so much emotion, so much motion in them. And I didn't want to become an illustrator, a comic book illustrator, but I was just so fascinated by the art that I wanted to reproduce them. So that's what I would do. I would actually buy comic books so that I can redraw those images. And that's where I started to get just my drawing skills. And then I was fortunate enough to have some incredible art teachers who would give me the space and time to really excel and continue to build on my experience. But again, I didn't pursue art until after I became an art teacher. So after I was an art teacher, that's when I started going, oh my God, I have all these materials available to me in the classroom. I can test them as I'm coming up with art lessons.
What's your creative process like?
This might be kind of weird, but I think of the title first. Some word or some phrase comes to mind and I'm thinking like, oh, wow, that would be cool. What does that look like visually? I can add in like what my style is, right? Because the title can be super broad or how any artist can interpret that title would be completely different. So yeah, I like to come up with a title and just say like, here. So it's sort of like a prompt, right? It would work the same way as a sketchbook prompt would be. Here is my title. Now, what would I draw to this title? And then that's when I go into my sketchbook, I start coming up with ideas or on the iPad drawing there until I finally find something that aligns with that title and the imagery that I'm going for.
How do you work through creative blocks?
I recently read that, for creative people, sometimes we don't have the luxury of going through like a creative block, that you should work through it. Like if you're capable of creating, just keep creating until you get to something that you want to make, as opposed to waiting for that thing to show up. So I think that's what's so awesome about a sketchbook is that just with a sketchbook and a pencil, you're just moving your hands and then maybe something will show up. But if you're waiting for that thing, waiting for that inspiration, you could be losing out on a lot of opportunities.
What advice do you have for kid artists?
I would tell any young artist that's interested in art, I would tell them to just like make art and like collect it. And anybody who you want to talk to about your art, like talk to them about it. Because people who are interested in sports talk about sports all day. People who are interested in like some kind of craft in like construction, they will speak and ask questions about construction. And so I think I would tell young artists like, hey, if this is something that you would like to do, speak about it. Not everybody's going to want to listen, but somebody will listen. And when that person listens, you might be able to gain something out of it. You might be able to sell a piece of art. And so to the young artists, yeah, create and share. And then as soon as you're ready to like start exploring what it's like to sell your artwork, go for it. Check out like the PTA and see if there's like an event coming up where you could set up a table and sell some artwork. Maybe meet the teacher night. Like, a student can set up a table where they have artwork there. At concerts, there are opportunities that are just exist, and it's up to us now as teachers or as young artists to say like, hey, can we do something with this space? You have people coming and I would like to try something.